Good day once again, and you're all welcome. For those of us who have been following through the previous tutorials, you'll discover that we have been looking into linear equations and how to solve them. So today, briefly, we want to look at another example and to see how we can solve the problem. In this case, it's a bit complex compared to the other ones. And for those of us who are joining for the first time, please don't forget to show us some love and subscribe also, make your comments, and also share to your fellow brothers and sisters. We will really appreciate that if you do that for us. And thank you in advance for showing the love. So, as I was saying, we have the equation here, which is a bit complex compared to the ones we have solved in the previous tutorials. You can check the previous videos and see, and learn how far we have gone. So there are some things I will not be mentioning because I assume that we have known them by now, and then we'll just continue with the class. So here we have the equation, as you can see, and then we're looking at the possible way to solve this also. How can we now approach this solution? So the solution, the first thing to do is to write back or write again the problem that you have been given. Whenever you are given a problem as such, I recommend that you always write the problem again. You know, in the case where you are still a student, your teacher will recommend that you always write the question again before you attempt providing solution for the question. So we have in our step 1, we have the question written once again, and then if you look at this problem very carefully, you will discover that the variable we are looking for, that is x, that we are looking for, is we have it on both the left hand side of the equation and the right hand side of the equation. But to do so, we cannot solve this having this on both sides of the equation. So the best thing we can do is to open the bracket. You can open the bracket, and when you open the bracket, which we have in our next slide, when you open the bracket, you discover that in the next step, sorry for saying slide, I'm used to using slide. Discover that when we open the bracket, you have 2 multiplying all that we have in the bracket, and we have 3 multiplying all that we have in the bracket. As you can see, we have 2 multiplying x, and we have 2 multiplying 5. We also have 3 multiplying x, and we have 3 multiplying 2. And when you do so, the solution you are going to have in our next step, we're going to have 2x plus 10 minus 7, which will give us 3x, which we also have at the other side of the equation, which is 3x minus 6. How do we come about it? 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 5 is 10, and so also for the right hand side of the equation. Now when you do so, you discover that at the left hand side of the equation, you have an operation that you need to solve in order that to be able to make it more simplified for you to be able to solve the equation. How do you do that? Already 10 minus 7 will give us 3, and that is what we have in our next step, which is step 4. We have 10 minus 7 will give us 3, as we can see here. But although, as we have established earlier, we have 3x on the right hand side of the equation, and we have 2x on the left hand side of the equation. So what you can decide to do is either to take this 2x to the right hand side, or you take this 3x to the left hand side of the equation. So we can decide to do any of them, but for the sake of this tutorial, we will take 3x to the left hand side of the equation. And when we do so, we will have 2x minus 3x, which will give us minus 6 minus 3. Why? Because you also take this plus 3 to the right hand side of the equation. And when you do so, a simple operation, we know that minus 2x minus 3x will give you minus x, and minus 6x minus 3 will give you minus 9, which we have here. And simply because we have minus minus, of course you know that this minus will cancel this minus, isn't it? And then we'll be left with x is equal to 9. And quickly or simply, this is the best way I think you can approach a linear equation and solve it without having problem. As you do so, please take note of your signs. They are very, very important so that you don't make mistakes. If you make any mistake, you may end up having the wrong answer. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy this. If you do so, don't forget to subscribe as I've said earlier. That is the best way you can show us love. Thank you very much, and watch out for our next video also. Thank you very much.